Tenacious exiles, resilient adventurers, fearless pathfinders, cunning duelists. Almost every single one of you enjoyed the first part of this series. And we've plenty of totally rational, ridiculously intelligent, smoking hot, and beyond legendary Path of Exile players left to cover. So this is nowhere near completion. Welcome to part 2 of Path of Exile's most famous and infamous players.
Hi, Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here.
Hey guys, Zizaran here.
Hi, Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here.
Okay, we're gonna take attendance. So on that, I'm going to end it.
Arguably the largest and most consistent of all Path of Exile content creators is Zizaran, a dude who has been around since the earliest days of the ARPG, grinding out content, absolutely blasting the game, and crafting a pretty darn nice community, alongside an empire of PoE competition, which we'll talk about in but a moment. His story and tremendous impact on the entire PoE community is immense, so we could be here for hours discussing Zizaran alone. Zizaran began as both a live streamer on Twitch and a creator on YouTube, not primarily posting Path of Exile content. On YouTube, Ziz's oldest videos are of a PvP MMORPG called Darkfall: Unholy Wars. His videos consisted of some epic PvP battles, some boat sieges, and a bit of PvE stuff before he posted his very first Path of Exile video on October 14th, 2015, an AMA with Steel Poison, who sounds a lot like Steel Mage. This is also back when Zizaran was known as PC Child. After that first AMA, PoE videos started streaming out in perpetuity. Rip clips were a commonality and the most successful videos on his channel. He also served as an ambassador to other content creators in the community, with a bunch of AMAs with other core PoE creators like Methil, Ziggity, Havoc, and people no longer big in the game like Xeno and Angria. Relatively early on too, Zizaran hit a tremendous sub goal and agreed to dye his hair the iconic Ziz Blue. How many, you might ask? 1,000 surely, maybe 2,500 or 5,000. Nope, 300 subscribers on Twitch. 300 subs, and Ziz dyed his hair blue. For the community. Not long after, he dyed his beard purple too, as the streaming guides, rip clips, currency showcases, and patch coverage videos continued. Ziz took off not only because of his consistency, but constant engagement with the greater PoE community, in-depth knowledge about the game, and big entertainment factor. As he continued to grow, he began crafting a PoE legacy, videos, events, and more that cement him as an all-time PoE great. One of Zizaran's most famous series is his recurring PoE University videos. Essentially, they take any mechanic in Path of Exile and explain them to the maximum. These videos are ridiculous in terms of information packed in length. They truly live up to their name and effectively act as a series of uni-level courses on introducing various mechanics in Path of Exile. Alongside these PoE uni videos, he puts out a variety of build guides, both explaining his own builds and builds by other creators, giving well-known and lesser-known creators a signal boost for their quality content. Even longer than his uni videos are his Everything Explained videos, in which he goes through various aspects of PoE in great length, from an entire run-through of the campaign with a starter build or a lesser-known skill, so both beginners and veterans can literally follow in his footsteps as they play alongside him. And how could I not mention something special Ziz does for a bunch of his videos, the silly video intro skits. From pure cringe to pure based, these skits spice up Ziz videos and get viewers into the proper mood for each particular build, explanation, or guide. It's something that's small on the end of the viewers that likely takes a ton of time for Ziz to do, and the extra flourish, I'd reckon, sets out Ziz even further from other creators. Ziz continues to mainly play hardcore solo self-found, though he meanders into hardcore trade and even ruthless at times, but his content legacy is probably most cemented by one particular event he's established as a core part of the PoE community, the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is the premier competitive racing tournament in Path of Exile now, and likely into the far-flung future. The competition takes place on a hardcore solo self-found realm with extreme monster buffs in addition to unique modifiers crafted specifically for the Gauntlet and, at times, competition-imposed restrictions. The goal of the gauntlet differs from event to event, but it usually involves a race to kill the most difficult boss or bosses in the game, in addition to a suite of other special bounties participants can complete for real money. The oldest official big ticket gauntlet that I can find goes back to late 2020, even though Ziz has been running huge competitions for longer than that. This end of 2020 event is the first hosted on his website and the first of the massive gauntlet events that have been running year after year ever since, with each one getting crazier and crazier. Thanks to Zizaran, we have a slew of all-time great Path of Exile moments, Ben winning in absolute predictable but incredible fashion. First-time Gauntlet hardcore players getting annihilated in the most basic of campaign areas, and even game directors crafting Gauntlet-specific boss modifiers to make the game even deadlier than ever before. The prizes are also substantial, ranging from prize money and sweet merch to cosmetics in-game provided by Grinding Gear Games. Over time, the collaboration between Zizaran, other community members, and Grinding Gear Games has only grown, and the Gauntlet has become a true staple of almost every PoE league. If it's a good league, then you can be sure there's going to be a gauntlet. Test your mettle against the next one, which is likely only a little while away if you're watching this video on release. At his core, Zizaran is a genuinely lovely content creator and representative for Path of Exile. A real all-arounder, I'd say. From the start of his career to the present, he has exuded passion, consistency, and a level of engagement with the community few others can match. From his contributions teaching millions of people basic and complex facts about PoE, to establishing arguably the most famous event in the entire Path of Exile competitive scene, Zizaran has truly crafted a lasting legacy in this community. And that's why he is one of the most famous players in Path of Exile history right now, and forever into the future. We might not ever become all-time Path of Exile greats and despots like all the PoE players mentioned in this and future parts, but you know what we can become? Incredible programmers thanks to the sponsor of today's video, boot.dev. My fellow exiles, you know what it takes to craft the perfect build, fine-tuning every skill, every item, every passive point for complete domination over monster packs and eldritch horrors. Now what if I told you mastering the world of code works the same way? That's where boot.dev comes in. It's basically Path of Exile in true coding form. It's an online, self-paced coding environment wherein learning takes place by completing quests and overcoming tremendous odds, just like an RPG. Just like PoE's intricate skill trees and endless crafting options, boot.dev teaches you programming by doing, with real projects that shape your skills step by step. No boring tutorials, no grind, only hands-on experience to level up your coding career. Now I know what you might be thinking. I love watching people discuss PoE as well, poring over web-based atlas trees and nitpicking POBs. Well, if you hop on board to boot.dev and learn back-end web development from start to finish in the Python and Go programming languages, you just might be able to create the tools the legions of PoE players use. From crafting back-end systems to creating tools to enhance your gameplay, boot.dev lets you unlock your coding potential, just like Path of Exile lets you forge your own path to power. You won't be sitting back at the start with boot.dev, you'll be writing a ton of code, completing quests and trekking your way to the coding equivalent of a one-button build. Click the link in the description box and use my code TALKATIVETRY to get 25% off your first month or even your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Huge thanks to boot.dev for sponsoring this video, and thanks to you, the Exile, for not skipping the ad. Now on to the next infamous or famous Path of Exile player.
Like, how are you? You brain dead bald. I guess the more hair you lose, the more IQ you lose. And now that he's bald, he's all. I don't know, dude. Like, what the.
When I asked you exiles to give me a player or two for the next episode of this series after part 1, hundreds of you said to add this man to the list. Little did you know, he was already set to be in episode 2, even before he himself commented on part 1. Hate, extreme anger, and inflammatory behavior toward anyone in the Path of Exile community, whether it's a streamer, another player, or a developer, should not be tolerated, especially if it's done by someone with a large, loyal following gained by putting out good content for a while. The next player on this list is one of the only big-time players I know of to actually be publicly exiled from PoE, not only by much of the community, but by the developers grinding your games as well. I, of course, am talking about the incredibly infamous Path of Math, someone who turned critiques of the developers personal and became a permanent exile of the PoE community. Pre the biggest drama, Path of Math was already rather divisive. He was definitely a loud personality who was entertaining to many and obviously intelligent and resourceful when it came to Path of Exile. His mirror tier crafting guides were enjoyable, his builds were lit, and he, to quite a few people, was just a different type of energy in the PoE community that many liked listening to. Then the real drama hit during Lake of Kalandra when Path of Math initially brought up honest criticism of the game, then doubled down and went on a rant directly against grinding your games and specific employees there. That's where he assuredly went too far and rapidly caused his exodus from not only Path of Exile, but content creation in general. I played a censored version of the rant at the top of this video, and because I tend to keep the audio on this channel family friendly, that's as far as we'll go with the glimpses into curses and foul language. To sum it up, he attacks GGG, mainly a specific employee, and uses language worthy of a ban, a permanent one. This wasn't the only attack, there were a few others, both in Twitch chat and in other clips from his Twitch stream leading up to this moment. But the one that cemented his potential ban as developer abuse is linked in the description and played at the top of the video. Well, he did indeed receive that ban, straight from grinding your games, and it was his final ban. Even before the final ban though, Path of Math had been banned before. He harassed a staff member for no reason and got banned. Then he tried to claim that wasn't the real reason for the ban, and the real reason was for a few fake Discord screenshots. Those messages were then privated when the real harassment ban reason came out. Then he did some giveaways to PoE viewers, which is seen as real money trading or RMT by grinding your games. This was his second PoE ban. Then he was caught promoting himself on Reddit with multiple sub accounts and was banned on Reddit. Then he started beef with other very positive and welcoming creators. That also was not good. And finally, there was this ban, the final ban, wherein Path of Math wasn't only banned on his PoE account, the community as a whole almost entirely uproared over his actions and encouraged a real departure as a creator, despite all the excellent guides and explanations he'd put out in the past. Ever since his exile, murmurings of Path of Math's return have echoed throughout the community. He even posted a few update videos on his channel for true fans. Some people miss some of his takes, good builds, and well thought out strategies. Others believe he should remain forever exiled from the spotlight due to his terrible behavior and past actions. I tend to agree with the latter. Path of Math has established himself as a forever infamous player. As an influential creator, I posit you have a responsibility implicit within the role. Hundreds, thousands, if not tens of thousands of people listen and look to you for guidance. It's tough, but when you're in the spotlight, you have to be on your game. You cannot let up and directly go after individuals, no matter where the hostility and anger stems from. It has no place in the Path of Exile community. Some people ponder whether or not the community, or more importantly, grinding your games, should forgive Path of Math. What do you think? Hearing his story and my opinion on the matter, am I right or wrong here? Redemption, in my view, is out of reach. Nonetheless, wrong or right, Path of Math, not just according to me, but many of you as well, stands among the most infamous of Path of Exile players out there. He might be tough to beat. Let's hope no one approaches this level anytime soon.
Answer to your lord, Lawbreaker.
I've never been entertained by someone dying in a video game, surmounting or failing to a ridiculously difficult boss, or yipping in glee or agony more than I have by the god gamer himself. Quinn69, inarguably the most concurrently famous and infamous player on this entire list. Quinn69 started off as a Diablo 3 creator, like a few other people we've talked about previously. He blasted that game, and plenty of the videos he carefully crafted on it are still some of his most popular to date. But where he really rose to prominence wasn't really on YouTube. It was on Twitch, wherein he participated in absolute degen behavior. His Path of Exile profile says he began playing first in December of 2014, but unfortunately in my research I could only find videos by him going back to Blight League in 2019. Luckily, most of what makes Quinn famous and infamous doesn't relate back to a single event or period of time. It's just the state he's constantly flowing in when he plays Path of Exile, the game crafted by his fellow Kiwis in New Zealand. You see, Quinn69 is a god gamer, a title I couldn't even bestow upon Kripawian. Kripawian. Quinn69 almost exclusively plays hardcore solo self-found on self-made builds designed to be absolute units in terms of their ability to wow viewers in their lack of power. What Quinn loses in uber build creation, he makes up in pure mechanical skill and entertainment value. Just look at this.
Rise and fight!
Or this.
We're in a flat line for chase.
The weak perish. Such is life.
I was reading chat! I was reading chat! I was reading chat! I was reading chat! I was reading chat!
How about we just look at a few more?
I should find out if I can farm more shell. I need to find out if I can farm more shell. Okay, the arena's not looking too great, gonna be honest here. The arena's not looking too great. Arena's looking kind of bad right now.
Okay, at least he's honest.
But he is dying at a rate, which is...
Failure, ambivalence, death. A final of unending darkness.
Wait, what? Did he get Invisa slammed or something?
It's only kind of like scuffed on Ubers. Because he doesn't get shock either, right? Because you gotta... What? 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 Wait, what?
Nice, dude!
Even when he wins, he just makes me laugh.
Oh, there's rats here! 2 divine orbs! Oh, it's not a bug, that's real, boys. Oh, 3 divine orbs! Fine! What the?
Even though his most popular videos are still from his Diablo 3 era, Quinn69 has become a pillar of the PoE community. When he interviewed Chris Wilson, it was legendary.
With a single button press. Is that intentional?
Sorry, just joking.
When he managed to down all the Ubers on hardcore solo self-found with a self-made build, it was also legendary and just a community-wide event. The fact that this section is mostly comprised of clips of Quinn69 and not me telling his story should showcase how entertaining the dude is, and perfectly represent why he is both famous and infamous. He is an amazing entertainer, but he goes way too far in much of that entertainment, and a lot of it honestly is outside of Path of Exile, like his React arcs. When he is level-headed and ready to critique, he gives incredible insights, and even though people poke fun at his 0 DPS builds or ZDPS builds, he is also a stellar build maker. The dude is knowledgeable, and he knows exactly how to rile up his audience and give them a good time. Oh, and sometimes he says bad things and gets banned, and that's pretty bad, bro. Never stoops too low though, luckily, and keeps most of the bad takes outside of Path of Exile, which is what we're generally examining in this video. We cannot lose this degeneracy from the PoE community. Ever. Please. Besides the actual developers of Path of Exile, the man who might single-handedly impact the most PoE players out there is the creator of the Filter Blade loot filter, the maestro of ground-based item organization, and the do-it-yourself quality of life enjoyer, Neversink. This man is the only thing standing between this being your PoE screen 100% of the time, instead of this absolute beauty. I jest, as loot filter creation is something everyone in the community has the potential to do. But just as everyone has the potential to make their own builds, loot filters are a facet of PoE not everyone wants to have a hand in, understandably. Even more so than crafting a build, It is an alien concept to those who want to download a game, make a character, find items, and kill monsters. This is where the hero Neversink comes in. He is one of the first and only creators to craft a loot filter so widespread, so easily usable and customizable by your biggest simpleton like myself to the biggest blasters out there. This was initially released all the way back in PoE 2.0, the Awakening beta. I scrolled through a ton of Neversink's post history to ensure this was the first mention of his loot filter. It was. He opens the post with this. This thread was created on the 15th of April 2015 during the Awakening beta. I'm a developer and I value time, comfort, and automation. I also do have a little knack for in-depth and complete things. Back then, I took upon the quest to design a loot filter that would meet my standards. I've shared it here and I met with a lot of attention, criticism, and suggestions. The filter has received well over 150 updates since then. Due to differences in playstyles, I've developed the strictest style system and later www.filterblade.xyz, a website designed to fine-tune the filter to your own needs. In the past years, the filter has received in-game integration on consoles, integration into the PoE ladder, and filterblade.xyz now can directly export filters to your account as well. The filter has become somewhat of a community standard. The result is a very advanced and polished script with several strictness and style versions that suits the needs of exiles all over Rayclast. Enjoy. What a goat, and what tremendous growth. Of course, this loot filter became more popular than his also very popular Tornado Shot build guide too. Nowadays, the filter even updates automatically and has essentially been integrated into the core of PoE 1, as he said, and is likely to wriggle its way into Path of Exile 2 as well. The dude is a closed beta PoE supporter, with his account being created on April 7th, 2012. Alongside making the best loot filter out there, he also blasts the game. He's currently at 30 out of 40 challenges and Settlers of Kalgur, and on Twitter, he has some of the most well thought out and balanced takes on Path of Exile. I also met the dude, and he's just such a chill guy to chat to. We are all indebted to Neversink, if for nothing else than the massive amount of time he has saved us, the strain he has prevented our GPU and CPUs from undergoing, and successfully helping us league after league with his default Filterblade filters, which are updated automatically without any touches needed from us. He'll always be a PoE great.
There's no reason that a ranger just has to fire arrows, so... Good afternoon, everyone.
We've really innovated with the content in this league, and I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks.
Legions of us gamers have fantasized about or still dream about transforming our lovely little hobbies and passions into something concrete we can make a career from. I know I did when I was younger, and I'm lucky I was able to somewhat play that out here on YouTube. Others of us are go-getters, truly capable of evolving something we play in our free time to something that ends up taking the vast majority of our energy, seconds, minutes, hours, and even years of our life. An even smaller percentage become leaders in said gaming industry after turning their passionate pursuit into a reality. Us PoE players have one among us who did just that. A long time ago, he was primarily known by many as Neon. Today, he goes by Mark Roberts, game director on Path of Exile. But that's not where he started. To showcase this tremendous growth, let's delve back to where it all began. Neon was an alpha and beta tester for Path of Exile back in the day, and when the game actually went public, he was hired in as a quality assurance tester because he was so thorough, knowledgeable, and succinctly good at the game. He was an invaluable addition to the team. Even as he became a part of the team, taking on the title Neon_GGG, or Mark II, his exploits in the live Path of Exile game did not stop. He would commonly be among the top hardcore players on the ladder, all while working full-time at Grinding Gear Games and being one of the most active developers on public Path of Exile forums, on their website, and Reddit. Seriously, he was a walking encyclopedia of game knowledge. To us outsiders, Neon was a QA master for quite a while, but then he began dipping his toes into the sphere of boss design. During ExileCon 2019, his genius was showcased front and center in multiple presentations, during which he answered questions about iconic boss monsters like the Shaper, explained Path of Exile 2 Ascendancy design decisions, or explained obscure mechanics only the sweatiest of PoE players could comprehend. As Path of Exile 1 updates continued to flow out and Path of Exile 2 continued to be designed between 2019 and 2023, It was revealed in July of 2023 during ExileCon 2 that Mark Neon Roberts was now a game director on Path of Exile and the primary designer of bosses in Path of Exile 2. He had ventured from player to QA tester to game designer and finally to game director in just over a decade. A truly reputable journey. Then, as the game director, he had the courage to sit down on stage and battle a brand new Path of Exile 2 boss and die.
What? Oh, no. All right. Let's take two.
Not only this, he kept playing PoE that entire time and kept flaunting his knowledge. The dude could name every unique in the game, every passive, explain the role ranges and all the encounters. Then, in his off time, he helped grow Zizaran's gauntlet and design specific modifiers that could be used during the huge PoE competition, like the Atziri apparition. Just imagine going from writing posts like this on the Path of Exile forum to presenting the entirety of a new Path of Exile 1 league, or revealing the extent of Path of Exile 2 scope to the world on a stage in front of millions of viewers. It's staggering and impressive. The dude truly cares about Path of Exile and continues to play it. His enthusiasm shows in interviews, in his design, and just through the fact he continues to avidly play the game despite working on it for 60 or more hours almost every week. Through every ounce of his being, he oozes this game we love to love and hate so much. And that's why Mark Neon Roberts will always be one of the most famous players in Path of Exile history. Which famous and infamous players should appear in the next part of this series? Let me know in the comments. My fellow exile, please hit the like button to send happy signals to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to Talkative Try for all things PoE 1 and PoE 2. I track Reddit, Twitter, and Discord for PoE 2 content when you'll get everything: news, commentary, builds, video essays, and all right here. It's free and is the absolute best way to support my channel. Thanks for watching this video, my fellow exile, and thanks to boot.dev for sponsoring it. I'll see you coding away in the comments. Talakura.